Hello and welcome to Audionautic Deep Space Network episode. I didn't hear Curtis say it, but I'm going to look really quick.
173.
173. This is the Independent Musician's Guide to Production and Promotion. And today, honestly, I have no idea what we're talking about. We just talked about it, but I'm very sick. I'm just getting over a nasty cold, so bear with us. But Curtis can fill us in. What are we talking about today? I think presets, right? And catching up. We've been gone for 5 weeks? So
yeah, we've been gone for 5 weeks, and I've now the show's coming up on my speakers. This is a chaotic start. You can tell.
Yeah, this is perfect because this is the
where we're
typical Audionautic chaos, right?
Exactly.
Embrace it, roll with
They're
it.
not live; they're faking it.
Yeah, we are very much live. We're back. We're back to being live. But yeah, Curtis, what are we talking about today?
So we're having a little bit of a semi-reunion. I've got Britney and I've got Terminator in my head. Where we're back, baby. So it's kind of like we haven't really spoken to each other, seen each other, seen what's up in the last 5 weeks or so. We've had 5 weeks of pre-recorded content, and we've all been out on adventures. So it's we're just going to see where we're at and what we've learned and what we've been doing, both musically and non-musically. And then in the second half of the show, I was listening to a bit of Henge today. So I came up with the line in praise of presets. So we can talk about why presets are a good thing, despite the fact that we go on a lot about synthesis and about creating our own sounds. Why presets are a good thing and why we should be praising them unconditionally.
Well, I think since we're in such a flux of change, I mean, I didn't even recognize that Curtis was on. I thought some random person hacked into our thing when I came on. I was like, "There's a dude with a shaved head." Then I was like, wait, the room seems familiar. Is there some doppelganger or something? But it's Curtis. He's here. So that's some change. So maybe he's had some growth and he's all about presets now. But let's start because I haven't spoken to the head of Audionautic Maximalism in quite a while. So let's start and catch up with Eon Lake. What's up?
Hello. Well, I'm just, I'm recovering from not being here. It's been quite weird now adjusting to being here for the launch of the official Audionautic haircut, which
big changes. That should be the title, just big changes,
It's a real milestone to share with you guys, but it's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
In the name of Aussie, we're all going through changes.
We are, yeah. Mm-hmm. My God, that guy's had a lot of flowers left lying around, hasn't he? That's not too far from me, so yeah, I've been watching with interest to see what they'll do with the landslide of flowers and stuff that the death of Ozzy seems to have brought to Birmingham. That's mad.
I would just turn it into compost, and then maybe another.
You should say that. Yeah, I think they're gonna recycle them and mulch them and put them on their grave.
Wouldn't well. I won't go there live, but I mean that would be a very rock and roll thing to do.
If you want to know what Curtis was going to say, join us for Audionautic Uncut.
That's fine. How was your trips down to the south of England?
Yeah, it was nice to take a break from everything and be as simple as I could be. The proper smooth brain. All the thoughts just slide off. That's where I want to be. It's my happy place. Nothing to think about except what to have for the next meal.
What gear did you bring?
I kept it light actually, and I didn't really use it. I took my iPad.
Nice.
And Move.
EP133?
No.
Move.
Oh wow.
Just Move and iPad.
Nice.
Move. Okay.
Cool. Was the iPad going into the Move?
I didn't use them.
I didn't use it at all.
I used Move a few times, but I was just tweaking ideas that I'd already started. I didn't really do anything, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give myself time off. I thought of our much beloved patron Hydrophyte and also Shady Ridge, the way that they like to take a break at the same time every year, and I thought, well, take a break, dude. Live a bit,
It's good.
It's there if you feel like it, but you'll be home soon, surrounded by all your senses. It's time.
Back in your comfort zone.
Exactly. So I've not worried about it too much, essentially, and not really done that much. but tried to get my head into useful spaces for both not throwing myself into the sea and not coming out again, and and for making music after as well. And I think it's been a good break. I think it's been a good idea to do that.
That's good.
What about you guys?
Well, before we get to Curtis, I want to say hello to the chat because we are live. So we're back to being live, I should say. Let's say hello to J Bell. What's going on?
Hey, dude.
And Fizz, and also Pat Brady says, welcome back. Yes, great to be back. Great to see you all. Let us know what you've been up to in the last couple of weeks. I know a lot of you have been commenting on our videos, and much appreciated. But yeah, let us know what you've been doing. If you took a break, if you've been going full force and creativity, whatever it is, let us know. But Curtis, you've had quite the 5 weeks. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I went back to Vietnam for 5 weeks, and that was a trip, both literally and figuratively. Didn't take any gear. I did have my phone, which does have Note on, and I was like, oh, I might play around with Note. I think I picked it up twice. I'm still exploring Note, and I'm still struggling with Note, and that's another conversation for another show. But I haven't thought about making music. I haven't been piecing anything off. I haven't been doing anything. The only thing I suppose you could say I've been doing is collecting samples. There's a lot of samples on here which I still need to get off and kind of process, and then bought a ton of CDs. So the patrons are going to enjoy that. We've got aspects of music from every recordable era, so to speak, of Vietnamese history, from the 1830s, no, before the 1830s, sorry, all the way up to some weird 90s pop in there as well, which is good fun. So yeah, it's been very much a time of stepping away, similar to Eon Lake, not thinking about the next creation, not thinking about what I'm going to do. The only thing I've been trying to do is put one foot in front of the other and just go back to places where, for example, where I wrote Feel a Math, or I wrote Astrolabe, or even I went to where I used to live in Hanoi, where I wrote Not Car Noises, for example. But the only intention of just revisiting that space and trying to.
And how different was it? 4 or 5 years later?
The city has changed quite extensively of Hanoi. Vietnam in general has changed quite a lot, I feel. Mostly for the good. The same vibe is there, but with different signs and different aspects and stuff. Some of the old haunts are still there, which is nice to see. So yeah, that was nice. So yeah, I'm happy about that. But it's been nice to not. I've lost the sense of like the urgency to come back. Like I landed on Sunday, right, and I immediately, one of the first things I did was just take off all of the towels that have been covering, dust covering sort of my stuff, and it's all there and ready to go. And I haven't done anything. I haven't been forcing anything, and it's kind of I'm in this kind of liminal space where I've got ideas starting to formulate, but I'm not kind of in a rush, if that makes sense. And that's cool. That's different.
That's very good,
I think. So yeah, definitely. How about you, my brother? We've talked on and off, but
what have I been doing? Working, quite a lot of work, being a dad, the usual, but I've been doing a little bit of working on the next album and just like doing it in a completely different way, just by nature that I have to. So I don't have a lot of time, and then everything's still just not set up because I just have this idea of when I'm filming and stuff, I still just want minimal setups. But for the album, I have this whole story and idea. So I've been doing just the laptop in Logic at like 5 a.m. and just using session players to create the chord progression, because you can set a chord progression, but then you can change every chord to anything you want, like borrow chords from other keys, whatever. You can do crazy big chords like sevenths or 9/13, like all that stuff. So I've been doing that, and then I use the tiny little keyboard on the laptop to do all the leads and the drums and stuff, and then just quantize it, and then been adding vocals, which has been the really fun part, and like working on the vocals, and then my intent is to expand into adding live hardware and stuff like that once I feel like the sequence or the arrangement is done. Like build the track in there. The vocals are the focal point. So it's like, okay, I'm working on making the sequence and arrangement around that, and then I'm going to add stuff on top because I really want to do. I don't know if you still do this at all. I guess you've been on a break anyways, Curtis, but you had talked about where you layer on full one takes, like of a synth or something on top of the stuff you've programmed and things. So I want to do a little bit of that because I just don't have a lot of time to do my normal album workflow of just making tons of takes and then going between the takes and stuff. So the main thing is going to be the MIDI that I've made and then add on to it later. And then one other thing I'm doing, because as I was trying to get away from the usual and stuff, I've been doing just like no cameras, no social media. I deleted it from my phones and stuff, but I just try to do improvs once a week, every 2 weeks, like twice a day, twice in a week. As long as I can get like a guitar or something, I do the Eon Lake tape method and just turn the DAW on and let it run. And then I just record something. And then if I feel so inspired, I'll do a different instrument one take on top for the same duration. Just like, let's say I do a guitar thing and I do it for 20 minutes. I'll just get the drums next and just play drums on top and just see what I get. And if nothing else, I've got samples that I can chop either together or separate, or like, oh yeah, I love that guitar, but I'll rework it. And so I've got that. So that's been a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I've been doing that a lot because I can do that in like 20 minutes, right? I can't practice much, but I can take that little segment and do something with it.
Yeah, it's good thinking.
Is it like, it's good thinking, like this notion of like, you know, once upon a time there was MIDI mountain, right? And it kind of, it mirrors my experience with these things as well. Like everything's rigged over there and I'm just not, it's not practical, right? If we have less time and we have less space and, you know, you're squeezing elements and sessions together, you know, having just a couple of, it seems like you've been talking about building MIDI.
Yeah, I am going to as sample station
for at least.
So it's just this. I'm just going to put
sample station.
None of the sequencers, none of anything. That's all still going to be the idea of just one sampler at a time. But I can send everything from like I can perform on an instrument using the. You can't see it. I have to turn it, but using the mixer, everything can just go into. So I can like I'm not going to do everything all at once, but I have the option that everything's on and readily available. So if I go today, I want to use the MS1, I can use that. But another day, I may want to use a mini log or a guitar, and everything's just in going through those effects that are right there into the mixer, into whatever sampler I choose.
Well, this is the interesting thing, right? So like you've got it's basically essentially a splitter in reverse, right? And then everything's going into your sampler. You're still breeding that notion of just less is more, you know, and that notion of just having something streamlined and able to get through without any issues. And you know, it is a real testament to where you're at, like you say, like squeezing these moments in. I love the notion of you just with a laptop and
in the dark at 5 a.m. It's so annoying.
That's great fun.
I really need to bring this into the house, but I just always forget, and then I'm like, I'll just use the keyboard. So no, it's just really annoying because I like that keyboard. I have a problem with too because I like to do big chords, right? Like the bass, I'll do the root on the left hand and then the chord on the right. But I'll just program it later, you know. Fix it in post.
That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I think a couple of my tracks, recently have just been all in the box, and I've been playing the melody on the keyboard. You know, it's another tool, right? Just another tool. If it's an alien concept.
Speaking of that, that's the biggest thing for me. Like I said, that's why I want the vocals to be the main thing, because it's like it's such a vulnerable thing for me to do vocals, right? And just like different. So I'm like, I just want to do that as the focal point. Like that's the thing I want to focus on. And it's been a lot of fun. And I figured out a really good vocal chain for like a start vocal chain to just start with, and then do more different things as I go. But it really made a difference with using, it was like 2 compressors, one doing some, and then the next one doing just a little bit to kind of tweak that compressor, and then a couple other things.
Is that
yeah, it's in series.
Or is that in parallel?
I haven't done any parallel yet. The vocal chain I'm doing is just a very simple like start point that I can just set for every time I do vocals, and then I can, if I go like, oh, you know, actually for this one I kind of want like some distortion, or it needs to be bigger or this or that, then yeah, I can change things. But it's I'm trying to remember because it's been like a week since I had this whole other side tangent project I've been working on that's probably going to come out first. But so I just haven't touched the vocal one in a while. But I think it's EQ, a compressor that's got like medium attack, and it's doing about 2 dB gain reduction just on like the peaks. And then the second compressor, no, the first one has a very low attack, like it's quick. The second one is like 1 dB, but only on the absolute peaks, just to kind of catch what the first one's not getting. And it's got a really slow attack. So it's kind of just keeping everything a little more glued in. The second one made the difference. Like I did the first one and I was like, this is still kind of weak. It's not like a front vocal. You have to really raise it in volume. And I didn't want that. And then I did that second one and boom, it just like sat in the mix so much better because everything just kind of levels out just so slightly. And then I think I did reverb. And then if I need it, because I usually like to have delay on my vocals. So I'll either do that, but I'll probably move that to an aux channel later. But just to start, it's like that chain. And then sometimes I'll put in another EQ at the end just to kind of tidy it. Oh, and then decapitator. I forget where it is, but that's somewhere in there. And that makes a huge difference. That little saturation makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that sounds like a solid.
It's a nice little starter point, you know. And then you can like move and change things around and stuff.
Yeah, nice to see. We should. I'd love to do a session on people's different vocal chains because everyone's got something different going on and everyone's got something interesting to see. So I'd love to compare notes. It'd be interesting to see if that garnered any interest at all.
Yeah, definitely.
What you
I
using?
don't record. I haven't recorded vocals for a long time, but I always used to limit the peaks slightly, just to sort of say this is where the top is. Just ever so slightly limit the peaks, and then a second compressor would work on the 90, the sort of 75th percentile, and just squeeze it a little bit, so that just to reduce the dynamic range a bit, so that it's a nice sort of level for routing through plugins and, you know, having a decent level where it doesn't vary too much. Because obviously real vocals too peaky, you know, the dynamic range is too big. So just sit on the peaks first so that you don't overload anything that follows next. And then just squish it a little bit just for recording. But then on mixing, I'd sometimes actually splat the hell out of it and try and put it right in the cone. Sometimes you get that real present vocal, and I'd like to do companding then, compression expansion. So the compressor's bringing down the peaks, and then the expander is pushing out the quiet bits because you bring the noise floor up so much that you start to get the breaths and you need to start controlling those again. So yeah, compressor expander, one after the other.
I like that.
That works really nicely, and yeah. I liked it when the vocal's present, you know, where it still can go up and down in volume, but it's kind of always there. It doesn't seem to sort of come and go.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do as well. Like be present, because I felt like if without the extra compressors, and I'll try that expander, it doesn't sound like a front vocal, right? Like it doesn't sound like a lead vocal. It's more like a back vocal, but with nothing else there, it just sounds like there's something missing. And so when I did that second compressor, that really seemed to just be like, oh, there it is. You know, it's gelling everything to be more constant. And that seems
to often brings out the characteristics of the voice, where sometimes there's a slight buzziness to it, the folds in the throat, and you can actually start to hear the characteristics of whoever's voice it is more, you know, clearly, because it's brought those to the front, whereas usually they're just, you know.
That's why you pick it back to like 100% and then it's gone. It just sounds like a robot. Problem solved.
Just run it through Melodyne.
Yeah, they're auto-tuned to get that shimmer, you know.
Set it to a different key just for maximum robot.
Sing in a different key than what you're planning, and then set it to the right key, and you're good to go.
Just so that you know you don't accidentally hit the right note and sound normal at any point.
Where do you guys sit with sidechaining vocals?
I'd do it for fun. I'd do it if I wanted a vocal to do that. I think maybe if you had, harmonize, like block harmonies, but you're using them more as a pad, maybe you've put it through a well-known free reverb plugin. You might want to treat it like a pad, like a synth, and maybe duck it around the kick a bit just to give the track a breathing sort of quality. I definitely would consider side chaining it. I'd consider envelope following to give it a percussive element, or using multiple gates or auto pans set at different intervals to make it do a similar thing. I love making things that are solid, rhythmical, and things that are rhythmical, try and stretch them out until they're a blur.
I've seen some people, I think I've done it before too, where you sidechain things to the vocals so that the vocals kind of stand out a little more. Like very subtle, but just enough so that the vocals kind of
that's what I do, yeah.
come through without being overly loud and on top of it. But yeah, I agree. A lot of times I'll sidechain backing vocals, especially because I do add a reverb of unspecified origin to it, and I like having that kind of background pad that floats up and down, or put that as an auxiliary channel and sidechain that one so that it like really just kind of adds this other synth type of pad just floating in the background.
It's cool. I've in a similar vein. I've found out that it works particularly good if you've got a lot of pads, or you've got if you've got a frequency that's running in the same frequency as the vocal, just a light bit of side chain can keep those vocals at the front and center and not get lost, and not kind of coming out without relying so much on overly compressing.
It's a good technique, and it's a good one to be aware of it. I've tended to think of it, and this is my old prejudice kicking in here, a little bit like if you have to do it, it means you probably got something wrong. Like your mix isn't great. Like, if you've got competition where the vocal is, it means you haven't made room for it to a certain extent. I mean, that's an oversimplification, and it isn't that straight.
And this is coming from someone that has no less than 200,000 tracks per song, so
I'm getting better.
150,000 now, post 2024.
I've kind of think of it a little bit like de-essing. I mean, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done, right? I mean, it exists for a reason, and it's a very real thing. It can also be, though, if you're recording a vocal and you're getting too much sibilance, you can sellotape a pencil across the middle of a pop shield to split the airflow, and that does a very similar thing without, in a more natural way. So, it's about knowing what your tools are and weighing them up and using the right one at the right time, I guess.
That's an interesting one, right? It's like, again, it's that the engineering versus the production, and you don't need to produce something if it's been engineered in the correct in the quote unquote correct fashion, and then leaning the other way further towards production, because in this day where you can get vocal samples from any kind of sample pack or splice or whatever, where it's a lot more I suppose in our independent world, in our bedroom producer world, it's more common to produce the vocals necessarily, in that sense. So it's an interesting balance between getting it right and recording it well, and then tailoring something to fit your needs potentially after the chain has come through.
And also, I mean, the right answer doesn't have to be one or the other. It might be a little bit of both, because you could find that either one alone is a little too heavy-handed, and that, to be more invisible, just a touch of this and a touch of that does the job better than anything else.
Yeah, less is more.
And sometimes more is more.
Sometimes more is more. Well, while we have been going on a side quest of vocals, the chat has been.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, I was muted
there's
from coughing.
There's a few things coming through.
But I just wanted to mention, before we move anywhere else, Eon, are you still using the KO2?
I am. Here it is. It's right here next to me. I like how much battery life you get out of that, actually. I was just saying in the chat that I've had some real hassles with getting it to respond on the right MIDI channel, and that got on my nerves a bit. But as a self-contained device, once everything's in it, I do like messing around with it and resampling stuff that's been messed about with while it's playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the portability. I've been enjoying the portable stuff a lot recently.
You don't have the P6, do you?
No,
Mm.
it's the only one I don't.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear your take between P6 and EP1 through 3.
Yeah, I think I would probably gel with the P6 quicker.
Dude, it's awesome. I think you'd like the per step It's very digitact sequencer. Like you program it across, you can set parameter changes. I had this one thing where I needed the 16 level, but there is no 16 level. I was doing a little sax like da 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 da. And so what I did was I recorded it just normal with the volume full, and then I just automated. I hit record and automated the volume and just did my own 16 level. And I was like, this is perfect. You know, it may not be ideal. I don't have the 16 level, but I got exactly what I wanted, you know, just like, oh, perfect.
I prefer that. I love that solution. I love a lo-fi solution to a high-tech problem.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. It worked great. I was like, let me just try it because I know you can just hit record and then change parameters and it records it just like the Digitact. I could have also done it per step, but you can't hold multiple and change it once on the P6. You have to do each one individually. So I was like, well, let me just see if this works. And I did it and it did it perfectly. And I was like, that's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
The best solutions in that regard.
Yep. Curtis, any gear that I guess not, but any gear that either you feel like you're going to lock in on to focus on, or that I don't even want to say that you did because you already said you haven't been using anything, but is anything kind of catching your eye? Like when I start again, I want to focus on this. And chat, feel free to let us know. Sorry, Curtis, just one other thing. If there's something you've been eyeing or that you got recently or that's become your focus, let us know in the chat.
I came back. I've noodled around with the Move, which is nice, and that's kind of what spurred the round robin for today. So I've been noodling around with it. I think I picked it up once since coming back, and obviously school starts again next week. There's also at the moment there's a Pro 800 sitting on the board, and that's a fun little piece of gear which I remember having quite a lot of fun with before leaving. And that's got a lot of sounds, a lot of fun, a lot of synthesis in there as well. So that's again another one where you've got a bank of presets, and then you can kind of mesh your way through. And that's about learning. That's about learning a flow through, and that's about learning how everything's marked out, right? So I think that's where we're going with it. in that regard. But we shall see. I've got a lot of sample. I've got to get this out for the patrons first, and I've got to kind of set up a few sample packs. There's a bit of back office stuff to do while we've been away, and I'm really not in a rush. The album has gone off for mastering, so I'm just like, that's enough for now. I've got another one in the bank ready to go, so that's got me for another 6 to 8 months. So I'm like, I'm not in a rush. I'm really not in a rush. So yeah, do you want to do some chats? Lars has just joined the green room, and we're getting on for. We've got 25 minutes left of the show, so why don't we do some chats? See where we're at. Give the patron a little bit of a plug, and then move.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so Lars mentioned, where is Curtis's hair? And it's as Eon Lake said, it's set up its own podcast about existentialism. So there we go. M Fizz says Auto-Tune and Camel Crusher, all settings on max for me. There you go.
Lars says I love
that. Lars says, I don't think I've ever sidechained a vocal in my life. Well, something you can aspire to trying, just like you needed to try a certain plugin that we seem to be trying to avoid mentioning. But I'm going to say it because you know what? I don't care. Supermassive. Right. Took him a while, but he got there. He converted to the
drink now.
Yeah, he can't leave now. It's too late now. M-Fizz, we already covered this one. Are you using the KO2? Yep. And let's see. M-Fizz also says, nice, didn't know parameter locks as possible on the P6. Good to know. Yeah, I did a sample flip video where that's where I did that. I got some. There was a really good record I got that was just solo saxophone for like 45 minutes or whatever. And I was like, this is perfect. And I got a couple, and I found some little spots. And that's where I got that kind of sound, that classic boom bap little sax sound. And so I did the automation on that. But yeah, it's awesome. And then Bendu says, love the haircut, Curtis. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Well, Bendu, Lars, and many others are members of our Patreon. Curtis, do you want to talk a little bit about our Patreon and what those who support the channel get?
Yeah, let me click the QR code while we do that. Over Eon Lake's face again.
Here, hold on, wait, maybe do it again. Let me see if I can. What happens? It'll go to
there. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Carry on, as you'd say.
So our patrons are the lovely humans who keep the show running, keep the lights on, as Sunwarper would say. Fantastic little space. It's been a bit quiet over summer. We've been away, but it's a great place to support the show. It pays for the upkeep of the Discord and of this Restream app that we use to broadcast to you guys. Starts at $2 a month, which is a lovely place to be, and that gets you access to Starstream, which is our monthly hangout, which is happening next at the end of August 31st. It's where we just kind of chill, sit on a Sunday, have a cup of tea, have a beer, and just kind of chat and see where we're at. And yeah, it's, the higher up the tiers you go, there are things like sample packs, which we create periodically, put them out, etc. Early access to all our Audionautic releases, which is always good fun to see. And it's just a lovely little community where we're just kind of, we're there for each other, which is a really nice place to be. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the QR code is there. It's flashing as you just see that right.
Yeah, I love that
right
it does
now.
that. It's so cool.
It's cool. So yeah, coming in, tuning into the show, and being part of the Discord is appreciated. We'd love you for it as well. If you wanted to take us to new places and help us get to our next objective, which is Project Homebrew, for example, where we are looking to take and produce our own physical CDs, that's the place to do it. So you can do that, or you can just go to PayPal and make a one-time donation. The link for that is in the description as well. Yes, exactly.
Oh, here we go. There we go.
There you go. Exactly.
And just
so there's that.
Yeah. So there's our PayPal if you want to support that. Discord is right here if you want to join the Discord. Oh, I like how that one's all like big. That's cool.
It's there.
And then this. Oh, nice. There we go. And then there's our Patreon as well.
Exactly. So yeah, it's always there. Thank you ever so much to our patrons. Lars is sitting in the green room. He's one of our long-time patrons, so he's going to come onto the show. That's another benefit being patron. You come on the show, have a chat, see where you're at, maybe plug something that you're doing. For example, I'm hoping that Lars will talk about the summer releases over our Error-Prone Records, because that is fun and that is enjoyable. But yeah, anything more, Lars? Unless, you're there. Give us a thumbs up if you're ready, sir. I see that. That's a big
thumbs up. He's good to go. He's like, I've been waiting 5 weeks for this.
Let's bring him in.
Haircuts.
He's there. We can't hear him though. We can't hear him.
5 whole weeks, y'all. Where have you been? Where have all of you been?
Where have you been? In the Discord, we were all there. Well, some of us were there.
Some of us, yeah. Well, where's Eon Lake been this whole time? I know you were.
Did you say Elon Lake?
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
I have been a bit quiet, I must admit. Yeah, I think a bit like Sunwarper. I've been. I was getting very overloaded. A problem I have is just too much input, too much stuff. Either work,
I totally feel you.
Life, children at home. It was just there were a number of reasons where I was just having too much stuff coming at me, and all I really wanted to do was hide in a box for a few hours every day and just be left alone.
Did you find a box?
No. There was one in the garage, but that's full of spiders now. They seem to have claimed it. So, yeah. Just been rocking, sitting in a chair rocking.
Oh, they took your chair? The spiders took your chair? Bro.
No. I have chipped in a few times on the Discord though, but yeah, I've been a bit missing for a little while.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
it's on
totally
vacation.
understandable.
It's
With
got
the
to be done
express
sometime.
intention of coming back again at some point, you know.
Mm,
Fair
There and
enough.
back
Yeah.
again, an Eon Lake Discord tale.
exactly. How about you, Lars? What have you been doing apart from pining over our absence? What's been
Yeah.
going on in your world?
I don't know. I've been really sad without y'all. I don't know what to tell you.
Extra shit
sorry.
posting on Blue Sky and Threads, huh? Is that how you've
I
been
mean,
coping?
I never said I had healthy coping mechanisms. I just have coping mechanisms. All right. No,
But
I've.
I've
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say I hear error. Been seeing lots from Error Prone.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of like it's been the focus. Like the kids have been out of school for summer, so in between having to watch the kids and make sure my son isn't running around my house destroying everything in sight.
Yeah.
Been trying to put out some more releases there. Did a few floppy releases, a couple more cassette releases.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun summer there. Haven't really had a chance to do a lot of my own music, but I finally got to do an open mic night a couple weeks ago.
What did you do at the open mic night?
Yeah.
Huh?
What did you do at the open mic night? Did you sing and play acoustic guitar or BC Rich? Or did you
Oh
do, like,
yeah, you know
music
me. I'm
stuff?
such a crooner.
Yeah, I can tell. That's why I'm curious. Or did you just do like some crazy noises from 4 cassette decks that you had running into each other?
I actually did some of my more like vaporwave oriented stuff.
Cool.
And the funnest part about it is like, so this wasn't even like a bar or anything. It's literally like a glass gallery or head shop or whatever. They just do a whole bunch of glass blowing, and they decided they were going to start doing open mic night. So I showed up and I did that, and it went well. I could tell it's like the reaction was confusion, but also curiosity. So I'm like, well, you
Cool.
didn't hate it, so that's a plus.
Step in the right direction.
Right.
Right.
That's the
So I'm
start.
gonna go
That's
back-
the start.
I'm going back this Friday. I'm gonna say, like, oh, you didn't hate what I did last time, so let me see if I can get you to hate what I do this time.
There you go.
So that's the goal at the end of the day. You want people to question and be a bit disconcerted.
Yeah, just be a little thrown off.
Okay, I got a suggestion for you. Take your BC Rich, detune it, like just every string's off tune, put it through a bunch of reverbs, and then sing on top of it modern pop songs.
Wow.
Taylor
Should I
Swift
use
in top
what?
three.
What reverb should I use? Should I use maybe Valhalla?
Depends if you want to do
Supermassive?
hardware or software. I can recommend for both. Or you know what? Don't even do the reverb. Just play it with the guitar all out of tune. Every string just put like in a different, like one would be E standard, but the next one would be what it would be for D standard, and so on. And so it's just a crazy. Yeah, I think that would work really well if you want them to hate it.
I'd say
No, go ahead.
no. You go ahead. I'll go after. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's just like I don't know if I want them to hate it, but I don't know if I would hate it if they hate it. Sounds like a fun time.
There's challenging your listeners, and then there's challenging them to a fight.
I mean, I'll fight
wrong with
somebody.
either. I don't know.
I may be getting old, but I'll still fight somebody.
I mean,
Was
Well,
there
the
anyone
Rich has
else
the
before it?
spikes, so
Yeah.
is it just you?
So, no, there were a couple other people who did it, but it was like the first one that they ever did. So like a couple people showed up, and like I think like 6 people signed up, but only like 3 people actually ended up performing. So
right.
That's okay. It's step by step, right? You got to break down the barriers of anxiety and imposter syndrome, right? It takes 7 to 12 instances to be converted.
that's
Yeah.
the hardest part is the anxiety,
It is.
because it's like once
It is.
it feels like with performing, it's like once you're up there and you're actually like going at it, like you get lost in it. You don't really feel any anxiety or anything like that. It just feels good. But it's like those like 10, 15 minutes before you go to perform, like it's just terrible. You feel like anxious. You're like, I need to run away right now. I'll just go hide in a hole. They never have to see my face again. It's fine. We can forget this ever happened.
That's fun. It's a process every time, and every time you do it, it gets a little bit easier to overcome.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping this weekend is like, or this Friday is like, because they got another one going this Friday, so I'm gonna try again.
Nice.
fair.
That'd be good.
It's good.
I thought about you while I was away. I went to the Goethe Institute
How
in
sweet.
Bangkok. I went
the
to
what?
see a show, and there was a Norwegian guy, a Thai saxophonist, and I think he was a Japanese drummer, and they did an improvisational piece. The Norwegian guy had he built it himself. He called it a fry phone, and it was an atonal instrument. So it was essentially a doorless noise generator, and you put you push different buttons, and it creates different frequencies of noise and of static and wibbly wobbly things, completely atonal. It's amazing. And so they were supposedly in A minor. They were improvising in A minor. And he was just making noise and screeches, and I was like, the future of music is noise for sure. It has to be.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
I'll send you a video. It was amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing.
How do you spell that? Because I put fry phone like French fry, and I got like a McDonald's French fry looking like corded phone.
It's one word, fry phone. FRYPHONE. Fry phone.
Maybe try Norwegian fry phone.
No,
I'll find it for it for you after.
Not
Yeah,
like
no, that
foreign
also is-
knockoff ones.
wow.
Well, he
Gotta
named
be
he-
the Norwegian one.
exactly.
Authentic, man, authentic.
Yeah.
Love it.
You pay a premium, but it's authentic. All right.
I'll
Of
find
course.
it for you. It's genius.
All
It
right,
really
well,
pushed the
Paul,
boundaries, and it is a
I
cool
was gonna
place to
say,
be.
Curtis, we got 12 minutes. So while you search that, shall we move over to the round robin?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Let's do that. So
Ooh, what's our round robin?
Round robin is
round.
going to be your favorite topic, presets.
Ooh,
And I think
presets.
Curtis named it in praise of presets. Is that right?
yeah. It's my
So
homage to.
I'll let you kick us off there, Curtis.
Yeah, so I mean, we spend a lot of time on this show talking about the benefits of synthesizing and the benefits of creating your own sounds and going from the ground up, essentially, and creating something original. You know, whether you be using Operator in Ableton or a piece of hardware, a lot of our community tend to kind of create sounds from the ground up. However, I got back and I had a little bit of a noodle on the move, before bed one night, and the move is done in such a way where you select a new set and it gives you 4 instruments off the bat,
Randomly.
randomly, yeah, it's completely random. And I've been exploring this, and at first I detested it, and at first I hated it, but now I'm coming to the idea of kind of loving it, and I don't want to get into why just yet, because I don't want to take up too much space for too long. But I wanted to use it as an opportunity for us to flip the script for a second and just talk about our use of presets and why we the benefits and the things that we like about either preset hunting through a VST or going through a synthesizer and hitting a preset and going for it. Does anyone want to start us off? I see a lot.
Lars,
I see a lot of movement.
let's have Lars.
Go
Lars
for it.
has been waiting 5 weeks to just like
Yep.
brain dump, I think. So let's let him talk.
Okay. I love presets. Presets are great. I don't understand why people talk so much crap about presets, right? Because it's like, what I'll do with like a preset is like I'll load one up, and just because you have a preset doesn't mean you can't change it. They always provide like a great starting point for just about anything. And then some of my instruments, like especially like the Sugar Bites VSTs that I like to use, almost all of them have like a randomization feature. So you can load up a preset and you can select like certain parameters to lock and stay put, and then you can hit the randomize and then get a whole nother starting
We
point.
love a randomized button.
Yes. Randomizing is great. I live on randomization.
Okay,
I
so
never would've guessed that.
what is the benefit of this randomization? What is it that you specifically appreciate about going from a preset and then potentially randomizing something coming through?
So I'm sure everybody has had the moment where it's like they sit down at their computer and they want to make something, and then they just get stuck. Like they don't know really where to go from there. Like you have an idea of what you want to make, but like you can't actually get anything going. You can't get the creative juices flowing, to put it in the worst possible terms. But it helps out a lot, because you can just like, you hit the randomization, and like what you get probably won't sound all that great, but if you're familiar with your instrument or your effect or whatever, you know what to change and where to change it, and you can start getting closer to like what you actually do want. 1 second. I'll be right back.
No, that's great. That's a fantastic introduction to all this. Yeah, creating randomization is a great way to start things off. Sunwarper, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with presets at all. I think they're awesome, and they're always a great start point. And like I love what Lars said, where you can still change it, right? And the other thing I would add to that is you can also learn from presets by reverse engineering what they're doing. Like, well, I really liked how this one had this sort of pitch movement. What are they doing? And then you look at all the different things. One of my favorite things to do is open up. This will probably hurt Eon Lake because of the context of it, but I love to just take alchemy from. I'll say Logic, but I know alchemy was from somebody else first, right? That's what I'm talking about. That Eon Lake will be sad about it because he's
awesome.
I always forget who you said made it, but alchemy is an awesome synth, and there's just tons of presets, and I love the drone ones. So I'll typically, like for this project, that side project tangent I was talking about, it's all ambient stuff, and so I'll just like go through those, and then I add a ton of reverbs and like change things and move things around. But alchemy, you can do multiple oscillators of like sample sounds that are each oscillator, like a sample source and stuff, and you can just do all kinds of crazy things. And so you take that original source, and I like the movement it's creating, because there's all kinds of automations and morphs you can set in alchemy. So I'll just change the oscillator types and do that. And then another thing I'll do is like open up retro synth, which is a Logic one, and go to the presets and do the wavetables, and then just change the wavetables and see what it's changing, what's moving, or FM synth, right? Maybe I don't want to take the time to like learn all about the carriers or whatever, but just see when you do a preset, well, what are these set to? And then move it around. And then now I make all these kinds of like weird, almost class sounding instruments because of wavetables and FM synths that I've like learned from looking at the presets and then just tweaking it around. So, I mean, there's famous songs and soundtracks. I think it's Terminator 2, where like they just took a single sound from the starts with an F. Is it Fairlight? Fairlight or something?
The Fairlight CMU, right?
Yeah, and just drop the octave, and that's like this creepy sound. But when you play it at the normal octave range, it's like da-da-da-da, or something. But then at the low pitch, it's like this creepy T1000 sound or whatever. So, I mean, whether you keep it as what it originally was or actually do something creative with it, it's a good place. My only thing is that you can get my fear with it, and it's easy to get in, is if you get overly reliant on just always using presets. It's not a bad thing, but it does take away from learning sound design if that's something you want to learn. If that's not something you want to learn, then by all means, preset away. But I think it's really cool if you can understand why you like this sound and then learn how to make it, because then you can change it and do new things with it, just because you understand it. That's it.
I like it. That's a good shout. Reverse engineering is always important. It's always good to remember the idea of reverse engineering as a way to learn. Eon Lake, where are you at?
That reverse engineering as a way of learning is something I promise you, I think of as the Sunwarper effect.
Yeah, that's funny.
Right. It's right. It's a great. They've deliberately written those presets to feature all of the things that it can do, right? So that you're going to have. It's going to. If they've got somebody good to do the presets, it's going to show all the different weird and wacky approaches you can take to not just generating but changing sounds on that platform. So it's a no-brainer, really. I mean, I think the problem is when you have pompous internet talking heads like me who want to sound more intelligent, and say, "Oh, I don't use presets, I craft my own." It's a bit like, oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. But the reality is, it's usually a shortcut to something good. And I've got a song up right now that is based entirely around a preset on the Sub 37. You can say one thing, but the reality is, I don't think I've ever written anything that has got a preset on it somewhere. Maybe I've tweaked it, maybe I haven't. Maybe the tweaking has been outside of the preset, and it's more about EQ or effects or compression or whatever. But
Maybe the tweaking is the change in mentality you had along the way.
usually you're trying to keep up with an idea, right? And you're not going to do that if you're trying to home grow every sound. Maybe you do separate sound design sessions and you've got things that you can use straight away to inspire you. But really, what is that but creating some sort of audio preset of your own?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose there's a downside if you like Sunwarper says, if you lean too heavily on presets or you don't, you don't explore all the other stuff, you're leaving those curiosity doors shut, aren't you? Sorry, I've been watching Stranger Things again recently, and I love that idea. I mean, yeah, there are some wonderful things you find messing around, but equally, you can find wonderful things messing around with something that's already been started from you. And I find often an init patch is always going to be the most basic sound that something can make. And in a way, moving from a preset to something that you really like feels like less distance than it is from an init patch, completely nothing on it, starting from scratch. It feels like a much bigger distance sometimes to something that you like. It's
I'm just gonna add one thing, Ian. Like I legitimately love the initial patch of retro synth.
Isn't it good?
It's like if you just make a couple little tweaks, you get this really nice pad right out of the bat. I'm like, oh, okay. You change the filter a little bit, set an LFO to the filter in an envelope, and then just add chorus or something. It's like, oh, all right, that works.
Fair enough. I mean, there are exceptions to every rule, aren't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes it just gives you ideas sometimes as well. I mean, there are a few that I've used that I don't think are something that I would have thought of doing, but that make a lot more sense once I've figured out where the oscillation is and so on.
That makes sense.
Curtis, what about you? I want to hear about your move journey. But you said you talked about it later, so
something has happened. Share with us.
It's kind of a bit. It's kind of a bit of all of it, right? So like, everything what you're saying, and it kind of a bit of a light bulb moment for me because there's like I say, you go to a set and you select a new set and it randomly generates 4 instruments for you, right? And so the presets are there, and obviously you can meld them and you can mush them however you want to do, but also they're just there, they're given for you. And for me, it's kind of created within it this kind of reverse engineering of sound and sound design itself, in the sense of I'm not so much focused on the sound and what I'm trying to mold the sound to what a preconceived idea of what it's going to be. But what I'm doing is I'm creating music somewhat based around the sound palette that I've been given, so that I'm no longer necessarily having the autonomy of the sounds that are in play or the composition that's in play. I'm going with, okay, this is a pluck sound, for example. This pluck sound doesn't sound particularly good here, but I've got this pluck sound. How do I make this pluck sound work? As opposed to, I want this sawtooth pluck in here. I want something heavy, or I want a pad here. It's okay. I've got this. How do I make this work? As opposed to, I'm going to bend this with this preconceived idea. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I like the fact with some of the drum sounds you can have you get the 16 pitches on the right hand side. Every sound you select, you get 16 pitches, and immediately. Like we were saying earlier, I don't like the sound as it is, but pitch it down an octave, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
or up an octave.
The T2 method.
Or just playing them in with different pitches, as you're actually recording it, so there's a bit of variety in a hi-hat or something like that. I like that too.
Completely. It's nice, and it speaks to me, I think, because I'm still on this trip right now of not kind of recording anything and not kind of putting anything through. I'm just kind of just making sketches, and then they go lost into the ether. And it's a really good way of just letting go further of any idea of what something is and what something. I've always created things that have been so structured and have been so kind of pushing a certain narrative. And so now I'm coming to this space where it's just like, it's going to be what it is, like a Jackson Pollock on a thing in that sense.
I was thinking about that idea, and I was going to suggest to you at some point that what if you swapped the bin for a folder, and you just said, all the stuff that I do, I'm just going to throw in that folder, and I'm not allowed to listen to it or look
I
at
knew
it.
he'd say no. He's
But,
too
like,
stubborn.
I've done that. I've always done that. I've always done that. I've always done that. And
So
and I
when
hear
you go
and I
back,
get
you listen to it and
completely.
go, did I do this?
Yeah, like I think it seems more like a case of wanting to let go or learning to let go, right, Curtis?
Yeah.
That like just even if you make the most
completely.
bangeriest
It's having
banger of
absolutely no
bangers,
attachment.
you have to let it go. It's gone.
You have to. And I'm still on that trip. And I hear you and I get it. And I have folders. I have folders by month, by year, by location, by everything. And it's just folders upon folders of sketches and ideas.
Yeah, but
So
that's
this
not
is very
shaved
this
head,
trip
Curtis.
I'm on is very much a case of
That was that other guy, right?
well,
That was the other Curtis. We need some current Curtis.
Yeah.
Version 2.0 Curtis, okay?
Wow.
we'll see. That's the thing about hair. It can always grow back.
Might do.
Right? It can always grow back.
You know, you can tell.
It might do. I'll have to see. Though I do want to freak the kids out. So we'll have to see.
Oh wow.
But with that, I think we're coming with 2 minutes past the hour. So Sunwarper, do you want to move us into our end game?
We're in the end game
with
now.
our thanks and our goodbyes.
Yeah, I'm a bit rusty, but let's see.
Taylor
So we'll be
Swift,
back
so.
next week, 11 a.m. Pacific. Let's talk quickly, though. What are we up to this week? I do have to go, so let's be very short if we can. Lars, what are you up to this week?
Open mic this Friday. I'm gonna
Right,
play
yeah.
some really weird stuff, and I'm gonna see if they hate it or if they're still curious. And then the rest of the weekend, I'm just gonna enjoy the outdoors. I'm gonna go walk around. I'm gonna go take a hike.
I thought you were going to
And-
say you were going to revel in their hatred for the rest of
Revel
the
in
week.
their hate. No, I never revel in anyone's
Just be like, I'm
hatred.
nourished by it.
I'm not nourished. I just get a little buzz off of it, just a little buzz, like a nicotine buzz.
I was going to say, like smoking a cigarette of hatred or something, huh?
And I would just like to say,
Yeah.
what if the real presets were the friends we made along the way?
Yeah. And with that, Ian, like, what are you up to this week?
I can't follow that. I'm off.
There we go. He's heading off.
What am I doing this week? I'm still being quite casual with the whole thing. I'm not desperate to record anything. I'm messing around with the Torso T1 because that was this year's birthday present, and it's a lot of fun. I am
That's the
enjoying it.
sequencer random.
Yeah, it does a lot of
thing, right?
Euclidean sequencing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you can use it as a step sequencer and manually define stuff if you want, or you can make it random or Euclidean. Yeah, it's good fun.
That sampler they put out, I think it's the S4. That looks pretty cool too.
Yes, it really does.
Yeah.
That
Did
and
you
the,
say Euclidean sequencing?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the whole thing now. The Electron's all about it. There's some other ones. Yeah, we can talk about it in the Discord.
comes from
Yes, I need to know more.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Euclid, obviously, who was a
Yeah.
great.
Obviously, it's not just a name. But Curtis, what are you up to this
For
week?
all of us these learned people? Getting back into it. I've got a band practice on Sunday, so that's gonna be fun. Break out the move and the SP and the monologue, and that all goes in a backpack, and I go and play some music live. That's gonna be fun. Other than that, I'm just I don't know. I know that I've got to download. I'm trying to do this thing. I know I've got to download the show and put it up to Spotify tonight. After that, I'm gonna go to bed. But whatever happens tomorrow, I don't know. So I'll have to find out. I've spent too long in hippie land. That's my problem.
That's beautiful.
No, I'm with that. I'd love to live my life that way.
I'm trying. I'm not doing too well. But we're trying to get back on the right foot. We'll see how long it lasts.
The golden path.
He says. He's also got to schedule everything for next week. So we'll see. But yes, it is. At that point, it's 5 minutes past the hour. So we shall head off for now. Thank you ever so much for everyone tuning in. It's been amazing to see people back in the chat. Thank you for being patient with us while we took some time off. It's been very necessary and it's been very fun. So I appreciate your patience and understanding in the matter. Lars, we will be back next week, mate. It's going to be okay. Everything will be fine.
Thank you.
We're back. It's good. Can't wait to hear what's going on with the live show. If you want to go back, if you've missed us over the last couple of weeks, we do have 5 weeks of pre-recorded videos concerning different round robin esque kind of situations that Sunwarper and I did. We
and
did some
interviewing
interviews.
Ryan from Sketch Audio.
Yes, and that
Which
was a lot of fun.
talking about randomizing plugins and stuff, they added this thing called morph, where you can set 2 points, like an A and a B of settings, and you can morph between them, and you can set like an LFO to it, so it moves between it as the song moves. It's really cool. Dr. Vibe, awesome with that. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah,
it's a great one. Go check that out. It's a great video to see. It was good to see him again. So yeah, yes. Without much further ado, then, thank you ever so much. Discord.
Wait. 2 things. One, want to say hello to Thomas, who did not realize we were live. Make sure you're checking the Discord if you're not, because we are posting it there, and I think Curtis posted it to our socials as well. We're back in full swing, so to say. And then also, before we go, this is your 30-second minute warning that we will be ending it because it will end abruptly. Curtis has been on vacation, so I don't think he's generated a video yet. But so I wanted to remind, because I remembered just a second ago as Curtis was about to hit the end, I was like, wait a second, we got to give the warning because everyone will be like, it ended abruptly. So yes, this is your warning. So we have to give it about 30 seconds from now or a minute, Curtis. But at that point, it may just end very abruptly. So we'll say now, thank you. We'll see you next week. And then we'll just talk whatever for the next minute.
We'll just talk whatever for the next minute. Well, here it
goes.
Here you go.
2 seconds or something.
I don't know how long it is, so we give it a little extra time, and it's good to go.
We'll see it.
But I'll go click. Cut it now.
Yeah, I'll click the button. Everybody, good luck. Goodbye. Have a wicked week.